The world is not what you see. It is what the crowd perceives at first glance. You believe your inner self matters, but the harsh truth of the eye says otherwise. Most men live in a delusion, thinking their character dictates their place in this world. In reality, you are being weighed and measured before you even speak a single word. Every interaction is a battlefield where your silhouette acts as your primary weapon or weakness. Biology has hardwired the human brain to deliver a verdict in less than 1 second. This lightning-fast judgment through visual perception determines if you are an ally or a threat. You cannot escape the biological eye. It processes your status signaling with ruthless, cold efficiency. Your presence creates an immediate ripple in the social hierarchy, often long before you realize it. If you fail to manage this instant perception, you are already losing a game you didn't know. 5 centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli observed this fundamental truth about the mechanics of human power. He recognized that the mask of the prince is far more influential than the man beneath. Machiavelli famously warned that the vulgar crowd is consistently swayed by mere appearances and results. To the master strategist, the world consists almost entirely of this easily deceived vulgar masses. These observations from 500 years ago remain the cornerstone of modern status signaling and deterrence. When you appear weak, you invite entropy and social decay into your professional and personal life. The horn effect ensures that one negative visual trait can poison your entire perceived character. A single slip in your presentation can trigger a poverty gaze from those you wish to lead. You must learn to weaponize your image to command the respect that your inner self deserves. Most men allow their visual narrative to be written by accident rather than by design. They ignore the social hierarchy until they find themselves trapped at the very bottom of it. If you have less than 1 second to be judged, what does your silhouette actually say? Does it project the authority of a leader or the desperation of the overlooked masses? A book's cover isn't just a wrapper. It's the only gatekeeper to the story inside. Without the right presentation, your potential remains a locked room that no one cares to enter. Do you really believe your hidden virtues matter when the world won't even look at you? Mastery of appearance is not vanity. It is the ultimate form of strategic social deterrence. You are either the architect of your own image or a victim of public perception. But why does your brain make a life or death verdict before you even open your mouth? Prepare to uncover the cold biological reality that dictates your value in the eyes of others. Your brain is the most efficient machine in existence, yet it is also incredibly lazy. To understand the judgment you face, you must first understand the machine making it. Every second, your mind battles the relentless forces of entropy to preserve its precious cognitive energy. Instead of processing complex data, it constantly seeks out psychological shortcuts to navigate the social world. It treats every person you meet as a potential data point in a vast social hierarchy. Why should it waste energy on character when your eyes can provide a lightning-fast summary? This is where your visual appearance functions as the ultimate metadata for your very soul. It is a mechanism of status signaling that informs the world exactly where you belong. The great Machiavelli observed that men generally judge much more by the eye than the hand. He knew that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few feel who you are. This mask of the prince is the barrier between your true self and the world's perception. Your brain uses this visual shortcut specifically to avoid the exhausting effort of deeper evaluation. It is far easier to scan a suit than it is to weigh a man's integrity. In this rapid-fire calculation, the horn effect can be your greatest enemy or your silent ally. One negative trait can trigger a cascade of assumptions that ruin your reputation before you speak. It is a form of social deterrence, keeping the unworthy away from the seats of power. Are you providing an efficient shortcut for others, or are you becoming a cognitive burden? High-status signals act as a green light for the brain's internal efficiency machine. Conversely, projecting low value forces others to exert more effort than they are willing to give. This biological laziness creates a world where your surface becomes your entire reality to others. You are being sorted into a category before you even have the chance to introduce yourself. This process isn't about fairness. It is about survival and the conservation of mental resources. Your outward presentation is the first line of defense against being ignored or discarded. But when this shortcut detects the poverty gaze, the result is more than just a simple dismissal. It leaves a scent of failure that triggers a primal instinct for others to pull away. Imagine a shadow following a man in tattered clothes as others instinctively turn their heads away. Your brain is a high-speed processor, an efficient machine designed to find the fastest possible shortcuts. It rejects the heavy labor of peering into the dark, complex depths of another person's soul. Instead, the mind scans the surface of a suit or a stained shirt for instant answers. Machiavelli observed that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. People will rarely reach out to touch your character when they can simply view your presentation. Visual appearance acts as a psychological shortcut to bypass the grueling effort of a deep evaluation. When your image is neglected, you force every observer to work much harder to see you. This friction creates a hidden tax on your life that you pay every single day. The horn effect begins when a single negative detail poisons how others perceive your entire character. If you wear the costume of a loser, the world treats you like a failed investment. You will sweat twice as hard just to prove you are worthy of a seat at the table. A well-dressed man glides through gold-trimmed doors while you are left outside in the cold rain. This social hierarchy is a mountain that human nature has spent thousands of years building. The poverty gaze is a frozen lens that instantly blurs your talent and highlights your struggle. You are fighting the heavy entropy of a society that prefers to keep you neatly categorized. Without the flair of status signaling, you become an invisible ghost in a crowded ballroom. You must carefully don the mask of the prince to move through these high-stakes social circles. View your sharp clothing and upright posture as a wall of deterrence against those who judge. Every thread and shadow of your appearance is either a bridge or a barrier to power. Stop resenting the shortcut and start using the brain's inherent laziness to your own benefit. If you do not weaponize your visual image, the hierarchy will use it as a weapon. The cost of a bad reputation is far higher than the price of a tailored suit. You are paying a social tax that is quietly draining your potential every single hour. It is time to step out of the shadows and master the art of the eye. To the human animal, looking poor isn't just an aesthetic mistake, it's a biological scent of failure. When the brain takes that shortcut and sees lack, it does not feel pity or simple concern. Instead, the mind shifts into a primitive state, reacting to signals that suggest a lack of power. This reaction is deeply rooted in our social hierarchy, where every visual cue is status signaling. To understand this, we must look at how the poverty gaze identifies those who have lost. To the observer, poverty is perceived as a distinct scent or signal of extreme vulnerability and weakness. This signal functions like blood in the water, attracting those who seek to exploit a visible disadvantage. Looking poor triggers a predatory response in others, inviting them to test your boundaries and your resolve. It is an invitation to the sharks of the social world who identify targets by their entropy. Have you ever wondered why people are instinctively repelled by the heavy, suffocating smell of failure? People despise the poor because poverty serves as a harsh reminder of human failure and absolute impotence. Your appearance becomes a mirror, reflecting the fears of those who are desperately climbing the social ladder. To prevent this, you must adopt the mask of the prince and project an image of deterrence. Without this mask, the horn effect takes hold, coloring every interaction with the dark shadow of incompetence. The world does not see your character. It sees the symbols of status you choose to display. Are you signaling that you are a helpless target or a dangerous threat in this cold environment? Machiavelli understood that appearing weak is often more dangerous than actually being weak in social circles. When you look poor, you lose your seat at the table before you even open your mouth. Social dynamics are governed by the perception of strength, making your visual presentation a weapon of war. Once that scent is caught, the mind begins to slander every other part of your true identity. Every gesture and word is filtered through the lens of failure, creating a cycle of social rejection. You become a victim of the very shortcuts your brain uses to categorize the world around you. To the crowd, your lack of resources is a choice, signaling a lack of discipline and will. This is the biological reality of the jungle, where the weak are isolated and the strong dominate. Master your image now, or remain a target for those who thrive on the scent of vulnerability. You might think people judge you piece by piece, but they truly do not. In reality, one single crack in the hull is enough to sink your entire ship. Welcome to the horn effect, which stands as the psychological shadow and dark twin of the halo. This bias occurs when one negative trait causes others to assume your entire character is flawed. The mind takes a single visual failure and uses it to slander every other quality you possess. Following the wisdom of Machiavelli, a messy appearance is seen as a failing mask of the prince. This cognitive shortcut serves as the dark twin to the more famous positive halo effect. Think of it as a single drop of black ink clouding an entire glass of pure water. Within the social hierarchy, your external polish is seen as a mirror of your internal governance. Visible discipline in your appearance is used by others as hard proof of your actual capability. Why does a simple wrinkled shirt signal a complete lack of discipline in your professional work? Because status signaling suggests that if you cannot manage your clothes, you cannot manage your life. Letting small details slip is seen as a surrender to entropy and a loss of personal power. The poverty gaze fixates on these small errors, using them to justify your lower social standing. Maintaining a sharp image acts as a form of deterrence against those who seek your weakness. When your outside is orderly, the world instinctively trusts that your internal world is also governed. One visual mistake triggers a cascade of negative assumptions that define your reputation before you speak. Can you truly afford to let one minor detail sabotage everything you have worked to build? That biological scent of failure we discussed earlier is often carried by these small, visible cracks. Your reputation is a fragile ecosystem that can be poisoned by a single moment of neglect. If you project an image of chaos, the world will treat you like a chaotic man. Every loose thread on your sleeve is a silent confession of a lack of self-control. You are not being judged for what you are, but for what you appear to be. To master the world, you must first master the visual signals you send into the crowd. This is why the world assumes your bank account is empty just because your shoes are dirty. There is a striking paradox in how resources move through a rigid social hierarchy today. Money has a strange habit of flowing to those who look like they don't need a single cent. Machiavelli understood that the mask of the prince is more influential than the prince's actual treasury. Humans instinctively associate the presence of wealth with high capability and inherent competence in every field. Conversely, we view the presence of poverty as a biological signal of deep-seated personal incompetence. This is the horn effect in action, turning a lack of funds into a permanent mark of failure. Like physical gravity, wealth attracts more wealth while the weight of poverty actively repels potential opportunities. Why do we trust the rich with more but audit the poor for every missing penny? In the social hierarchy, your perceived value dictates the level of support the world offers you. Mastering status signaling ensures that you never appear desperate for the resources you truly require. The world rewards those who seem self-sufficient, funneling assets toward people who already appear saturated. We tend to offer the best seats to those who appear they can already afford the entire building. However, the appearance of capability is often far more stable than the actual wealth itself. Consider how lottery winners often lose their entire fortunes and go completely broke within 3 years. Their sudden wealth cannot overcome the entropy of a mind that hasn't mastered the social signal. True power lies in the ability to project a status that remains immune to temporary financial shifts. If you won the lottery today, would you still look like you needed it in 3 years? The mask of the prince creates a shield of competence that protects your position from social entropy. To escape the poverty gaze, you must signal a level of success that creates its own momentum. Status serves as a form of deterrence, preventing others from questioning your underlying worth or capability. When you project an image of abundance, you effectively eliminate the scent of desperation that repels success. You must understand that in the game of power, your visual credit score is more important than reality. When you look like you have everything, the world feels compelled to give you even more. But in a world of limited resources, this isn't just about money, it's about survival of the fittest. To survive this brutal competition, you must learn to weaponize your image before the world judges you. Humans instinctively associate wealth with high capability, while viewing poverty as a clear sign of personal incompetence. This bias creates the horn effect, where a single perceived flaw poisons every other aspect of your reputation. When you enter a room smelling of desperation, you trigger a biological alarm that drives opportunities away. Machiavelli would tell you to wear the mask of the prince with absolute and unwavering conviction. You must project an aura of total abundance because money flows only to those who appear they don't need it. Simulating success when resources are low requires a strategic mastery of status signaling and social deterrence. Break the poverty gaze by eliminating the frantic, nervous energy that betrays a lack of internal control. True power lies in total stillness, a deliberate rejection of the entropy that defines a struggling life. Start by curating your environment, ensuring every visible detail suggests a man who dictates his own terms. Your attire is never about fashion. It is a tactical shield used to ward off social judgment. Mastering status signaling means understanding which subtle cues command respect without appearing to try too hard. Shift your mindset from a desperate seeker of crumbs to a powerful guardian of your high-value time. In the high-stakes social hierarchy, the person who needs nothing always holds the ultimate psychological leverage. Practice the art of detachment in every negotiation, acting as if the outcome has no impact on you. When you stop chasing the reward, others assume you already possess everything you could ever desire. Use this simulated abundance as a form of deterrence against those who would exploit your perceived needs. Maintain this mask with discipline, for any slip reveals the reality you are working to transcend. Train your body to move slowly and with purpose, signaling a mind that is never rushed. By appearing indifferent to financial gain, you attract the resources that once seemed impossible to reach. You are no longer a victim of judgment, but a master of the perceptions you intentionally project. Replace the entropy of your struggle with the cold, calculated order of a man destined for power. The world rewards the mask you wear, so choose a face that demands the respect you deserve. In the wild, a wolf doesn't pity a limping sheep. It instinctively prepares to kill it. We like to think we are civilized, but the biology of dominance says something much darker. These dominance hierarchies aren't just social constructs. They are deep biological imperatives wired into our DNA. From the rigid shells of lobsters to the fierce packs of wolves, every creature respects rank. Chimpanzees and humans share this ancient drive to organize themselves into a strict social hierarchy. This structure dictates who gets the resources and who is left to fight for the scraps. When a predator spots a limp in its prey, it triggers a primal and immediate kill instinct. The attacker doesn't see suffering. It sees an opportunity for a low-risk, high-reward victory. This same predatory mechanism survives within our modern cities, hidden beneath suits and digital profiles. The poverty gaze acts as a biological signal, telling the world you are an easy target. Statistical data proves that the vulnerable are overpoliced and overcharged more than their higher status counterparts. Institutions perceive these individuals as low-risk targets, leaving them vulnerable to the weight of social entropy. Machiavelli understood that appearing vulnerable is an invitation to those who wish to seize power. The mask of the prince is your primary defense against this cold, calculated social hierarchy. By projecting strength, you create a layer of deterrence that keeps the predators at a distance. The horn effect ensures that once you look weak, everyone begins to assume the absolute worst. Status signaling is not just vanity. It is a necessary shield against the kill instinct of others. Is your current posture inviting a predator's gaze, or are you signaling undeniable social power? You must realize that appearing low status makes you a low-risk target for a ruthless system. When you are perceived as low status, you become a target for the crushing machinery of society. What good is a golden heart if it remains forever trapped behind a rusted and heavy door? If you want to survive the hierarchy, you must first equip yourself with proper social armor. Many focus on building character while ignoring the very gate that keeps them standing outside. You might have the soul of a king, but you look like a commoner to others. While character is vital for retention, your appearance remains the absolute master of initial access. Think of your image as the key that unlocks the rooms where decisions are actually made. Without that key, your integrity and talent will never even get the chance to be seen. The social hierarchy does not care about your inner light until you look the part. In the eyes of the crowd, your external polish dictates whether you belong or are discarded. Why focus on internal character when you cannot even navigate past the cold front door? To the Machiavellian mind, the mask of the prince is a tool for strategic social dominance. You are fighting against the horn effect, where one negative trait poisons your entire public reputation. Appearance acts as a shield, neutralizing the poverty gaze that invites predators to circle your life. But this armor does more than just trick the world. It begins to transform you. Deliberately improving your external appearance can actually reconstruct your entire internal sense of psychological confidence. When you look like a man of status, your brain begins to believe the lie too. Can a well-tailored suit actually rewrite the confidence levels firing deep inside your own mind? The science of status signaling suggests that your posture and presence follow the clothes you wear. By projecting strength externally, you force your inner self to rise and meet that new standard. You are no longer pretending to be powerful. You are becoming the image you have created. This deliberate polish acts as a form of deterrence against those who would exploit your weakness. It fights off the entropy of a neglected life by imposing order on your physical form. Appearance is the armor for access, while your character remains the soul of long-term retention. One gets you into the game, while the other ensures you are allowed to stay. Master the mask, and you will eventually find that you have mastered your own destiny. And once you have the armor, you will find it changes the person living inside it. If the armor changes the man inside, you must understand the weapon you are now wielding. We transition from a defensive shell to a calculated tool designed for total social domination. This shift moves us from simple protection into the cold, strategic world of the political predator. You are no longer just hiding your flaws. You are projecting a force that commands respect. To master this, we must examine the legendary philosophy of the great strategist, Niccolò Machiavelli. He famously spoke of the mask of the prince, an artful way of weaponizing one's own image. While the armor is structural and defensive, the mask is purely offensive and highly strategic. Think of your armor as the barrier that stops the world from crushing your inner spirit. It provides the necessary structural foundation for surviving the brutal pressures of the social hierarchy. But the mask is different. It is the active strike that opens doors once bolted shut. You must realize that your character is what keeps you in the room after you enter. However, it is your outward appearance alone that determines if you even get through the door. Appearance acts as the key to access, while your internal substance ensures your eventual retention. Without the right image, your greatest virtues remain invisible to those who hold the power. The mask of the prince allows you to manipulate the very perception that others have of you. It is a calculated performance, ensuring you are never victimized by the narrow poverty gaze. By weaponizing your aesthetic, you counteract the horn effect before it can even take root. This is not about being fake. It is about being effective in a world of shallow judgment. You are utilizing deterrence to prevent others from seeing you as a target for social entropy. The prince knows that his survival depends on the image he chooses to project to the masses. While armor guards your vulnerability, the mask dictates how the hierarchy will ultimately react to you. One keeps the wolves away, while the other allows you to lead the pack with authority. Mastering this duality is the secret to moving through the world with unshakable and absolute confidence. You must become both the fortified fortress and the dazzling spectacle that draws the eye. This is how you reclaim your status and rewrite the rules of the game in your favor. The most powerful man in the room isn't the one shouting. He is the one who says nothing. Once you have the look, you must master the sound or the absolute lack of it. While others fight for attention, the true master understands that silence is the ultimate weapon of status. We are biologically programmed to value what is rare, making your presence more impactful through tactical scarcity. Think of the Machiavellian prince, a simulator who controls the room without ever raising his voice. In elite social hierarchies, high-power individuals typically speak the least or communicate in low, steady whispers. This quiet authority forces everyone else to lean in, effectively making them perform for your attention. Why do we instinctively value the things we cannot easily have or hear? The psychological principle of scarcity dictates that when your words are few, their perceived value skyrockets. Most people suffer from verbal entropy, leaking their power through endless, meaningless chatter that signals desperation. By maintaining a calculated silence, you create a vacuum that others feel an irresistible urge to fill. They will offer information, seek your approval, and dance to fill the space you have intentionally left. This is not just quietness. It is a form of social deterrence against those who would overlook you. To the human animal, a silent man is a mystery, and a mystery is always dangerous. When you finally do speak, your words should carry the weight of a decree, not a suggestion. Avoid the poverty gaze of those who beg for notice through loud clothes and louder voices. Instead, use the mask of the prince to project a calm that suggests absolute, unshakable control. Every time you resist the urge to speak, you are signaling your dominance over the social hierarchy. Are you speaking merely to be heard, or are you forcing the entire room to listen? Silence acts as a filter, separating the leaders who observe from the followers who react. Remember, the horn effect can be triggered by the noise you make just as easily as your clothes. A man who cannot control his tongue cannot be trusted to control a kingdom or a company. Wealthy status signaling often involves the most subtle cues, requiring others to pay close attention to you. By withholding your reaction, you maintain your armor and keep the world guessing about your next move. But status isn't just about your silence. It's about who the world sees standing beside you. You are the mathematical average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your image isn't just your clothes. It is the collective energy of your inner circle. In the brutal climb of social hierarchy, the people beside you are your loudest signal. Modern social science proves that your value is weighed by the quality of your closest associations. If you stand among wolves, the world assumes you possess the same sharp predatory instinct. But if your circle is weak, you are draped in the heavy shadow of their failures. Every person you allow near you acts as a mirror, reflecting your true internal status. This isn't just a theory. It is a fundamental law of human perception and social dynamics. Centuries ago, Machiavelli understood that a leader's power was verified by those he kept close. He warned that a prince is judged instantly by the quality of the ministers he employs. If his advisors were wise and capable, the prince was deemed a man of great wisdom. However, if his circle was incompetent, his reputation suffered a blow no mask could hide. Your ministers today are the friends and associates who occupy your precious time and space. Who in your life right now is lowering your average and diluting your perceived social power? The world applies a harsh social hierarchy filter to every group it witnesses in the street. When the poverty gaze falls upon your circle, it looks for the weakest link to exploit. You might have the armor of success, but a flawed companion creates a vulnerability in it. This association acts like the horn effect, where one negative trait poisons your entire public image. You cannot expect to rise while tethered to those who remain content with their own stagnation. To weaponize your image, you must ruthlessly curate the individuals who represent your brand. Imagine Machiavelli himself watching you. What verdict would he deliver based on your current ministers? Every interaction is a form of status signaling that either elevates you or pulls you down. High-status individuals treat their inner circle as a fortress of excellence, not a charity ward. If you want the world to respect you, surround yourself with those who already command respect. Your circle must act as a deterrent, warning others that you are a man of high standards. Remember that entropy thrives in groups that lack a shared vision for growth and dominance. Do not let the lazy habits of others become the anchor that stops your upward momentum. Choosing your company is the most strategic move you will ever make in this social game. Your image is a reflection of the collective, so ensure that reflection is one of power. Even the smallest crack in that circle can signal your downfall to those watching closely. Status is found in the sharp, micro details that most common people instinctively choose to ignore. Let's talk about your phone screen, because that spiderweb of glass is actually a loud confession. A cracked screen serves as a visual signal that you lack the resources to fix things. It suggests a visual leak in your bucket of competence that the world notices immediately. In the social hierarchy, this damage broadcasts a message of entropy and personal negligence. If you cannot manage a handheld device, how can you govern a complex business venture? This is the horn effect in motion, where one visible flaw casts a shadow over your character. Contrast this with the sharp, polished gleam of a pair of perfectly maintained leather shoes. Clean footwear signals a level of discipline that functions as a form of social deterrence. It shows you have mastered the small things, suggesting you can master much larger challenges. Every scuff mark or speck of dirt acts as a silent witness to your internal chaos. Under the poverty gaze, these lapses are openings to exploit your perceived lack of control. You are either the active architect of your image or a victim of your own laziness. High-status individuals treat their personal appearance as a vital component of their Machiavellian strategy. They understand that the mask of the prince is built from these tiny, unyielding standards. When your external world is ordered, the crowd assumes your internal world is equally disciplined. Visible discipline is the ultimate signal of internal governance in a world of constant decay. Do not let a broken screen become the defining symbol of your personal failure. Status signaling requires you to weaponize these micro details to command respect before you speak. This is how you build a mask and begin to simulate true, undeniable power. Imagine you are sitting across from a powerful shark, finally ready to close the deal of your life. You wear the mask of the prince, projecting the cold, calculated confidence of a man in total control. Every movement is deliberate, every word is sharp, and the atmosphere in the room begins to shift favorably. But as you reach for your phone, a jagged crack across the screen catches the harsh overhead light. This small fracture is more than a nuisance. It is a loud visual signal of entropy in your life. To your opponent, a cracked screen suggests you lack the resources to maintain your own vital tools. Within the brutal social hierarchy, this tiny detail triggers a sudden and devastating shift in their perception. The horn effect takes hold, casting a dark shadow over your perceived competence and professional reliability. Status signaling is not just about what you own, but how meticulously you maintain your existing assets. Others use your visible discipline and appearance as definitive proof of your own internal governance and capability. If you cannot govern the small details of your phone, how can you govern a complex business empire? The poverty gaze falls upon you, scanning for any further evidence of your hidden struggle and decay. Machiavelli understood that the prince must never allow the facade of perfection to show even a single fracture. Maintenance signaling acts as a form of deterrence, warning others that you are vigilant and fully resourced. Professional trust is a fragile glass that shatters the moment your external world appears to be crumbling. A pristine device whispers of abundance, while a broken one screams of neglect and underlying financial stress. Your internal governance is judged by the external order you project into the eyes of your fierce competitors. Suddenly, the terms of the deal change as they realize your armor is not as solid as promised. Never underestimate how a single broken item can dismantle the most elaborate mask of the prince you wear. You lose the leverage you worked so hard to build, all because you ignored the micro-signals of failure. True power requires absolute vigilance over every detail, ensuring your appearance remains a fortress of unwavering discipline. Every scuff on your shoe or tear in your garment tells a story you did not authorize. These quiet markers of decay invite others to test your boundaries and question your actual level of influence. In the high-stakes game of professional trust, your ability to repair reveals your capacity to lead others. When you master maintenance signaling, you command respect without ever having to utter a single desperate word. Machiavelli did not want you to be a saint. He wanted you to be a powerful, respected prince. Now we move from simply observing the world to actively weaponizing your image against the social hierarchy. He introduced the concept of the mask of the prince as a primary tool for survival and dominance. This mask is not a lie, but a calculated tactical shield designed to command instant, unwavering respect. To master this art, you must become a great simulator and dissimulator of your own true nature. You must hide what you truly are while presenting the world with exactly what it desires most. Are you brave enough to simulate the presence of qualities you have not yet fully mastered? Machiavelli taught that every prince must appear compassionate to the eyes of those who judge him constantly. He emphasized that you should also appear faithful, ensuring people believe in your loyalty and your word. A humane appearance softens the blow of your ambition, making your rise feel natural and non-threatening. Being seen as upright suggests a moral backbone that others will instinctively trust and follow without question. Finally, projecting a religious nature suggests you answer to a higher order, adding weight to your authority. These 5 specific traits form the armor that protects your internal reality from the predatory gaze of others. Simulation is the active creation of a signal that forces the world to treat you with dignity. Dissimulation is the silent art of keeping your true intentions buried deep beneath a polished, perfect surface. The horn effect is neutralized when you project a mask that leaves no room for negative assumptions. By controlling the visual shortcut, you bypass the brain's tendency to judge you based on perceived scarcity. In the brutal competition of status, the mask is the ultimate weapon of the modern-day social architect. Do not view this as faking it, but as a deliberate strategy for navigating a deeply flawed reality. Can you play the part of the powerful until the power itself becomes your permanent, lived reality? Status is won by those who understand that perception is the only truth the crowd ever sees. The world does not care about your heart. It cares about the signal you choose to project. Master the mask, and you will find that doors previously locked begin to swing open before you. By simulating the right traits, you do not just change how the world treats you, you change yourself. This is the final alchemy, the moment where your simulated image finally transforms into your lived reality. Reject the comforting lie that appearance doesn't matter, for the world sees only what you project. Reject poverty as a visual identity and recognize that your external shell dictates your internal worth. Machiavelli wrote about the world as it exists in reality, rather than how it should be. He knew that the vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances and the final result of things. By refusing to look poor, you dismantle the horn effect before it has a chance to take root. You replace the poverty gaze with the calculated signals of social dominance and disciplined internal control. This is not mere vanity, but a necessary act of deterrence against those who would exploit weakness. Every choice in your attire and posture serves as a bulwark against the creeping entropy of social decay. When you master status signaling, the world no longer looks through you, but acknowledges your presence. You are no longer a victim of instant judgment, but the primary architect of your public perception. Your mask of the prince is the necessary armor required to survive a brutal social hierarchy. Remember that people will always judge the book by its cover long before they read the pages. Will you continue to be part of the vulgar crowd, or will you become the architect of destiny? The choice to weaponize your image is the choice to reclaim power in a world of constant scrutiny. What will the world see when you walk into the room tomorrow? A sheep or a silent prince? The path to greatness begins with the radical refusal to accept a visual identity that screams for pity. Your transformation is more than aesthetic. It is a fundamental shift in how the universe responds to you. This final synthesis proves that your image is the ultimate weapon in the war for social standing. But this is only the beginning of the architect's journey into the higher echelons of modern power. You have the map, but now you need the keys to the kingdom's most protected inner sanctum. The gate to the inner circle is open, but only for those who understand the value of access. Most men spend their lives being judged by the world's invisible and cold social hierarchy without knowing why. You have learned the mask of the prince, but the deepest psychological triggers remain hidden from common view. Are you ready to stop being the one judged and start being the one who controls all judgment? Stepping into the architect level of the social game requires more than just a surface-level visual transformation. We offer the uncensored triggers that others are far too afraid to even acknowledge or use in public. In this exclusive space, we master the art of deterrence against those who wish to disrupt your climb. You will learn to navigate the entropy of social decay while others crumble under the heavy weight of perception. True status signaling is a language spoken only by the few who have mastered their own internal reality. This is not a simple sales pitch, but an invitation to join an elite and powerful global brotherhood. We provide the tools to fight the horn effect and project an aura of absolute and undeniable dominance. Leave the poverty gaze behind and join those who see the social world for what it truly is. Our community is a fortress where Machiavelli's darkest and most effective lessons are put into daily practice. Do you want the secrets that allow a man to manipulate human perception with total surgical precision? The time for simulated abundance is over. It is now time to claim your actual place on the throne. Every moment you hesitate is a moment the world continues to use your own image against you. Access is strictly limited because the weight of this knowledge is too heavy for the common mind. Become an architect of your own reality and secure your place at the top of the food chain. Click the link below to enter the circle and finalize your transformation into a modern, powerful prince. The social hierarchy waits for no one, and the weak are always consumed by the strong and prepared. Will you stay a victim of perception, or will you finally learn to weaponize it for yourself? This is your final chance to transcend the ordinary and master the Machiavellian art of social power. Secure your legacy now before the gates close and the opportunity for true mastery vanishes forever.